Hey folks, and welcome to the channel and what feels like a pretty big Truck King news update. Chevrolet has just revealed its very first all-electric pickup truck. Say hello to the 2024 Silverado EV. When the Silverado EV launches in the spring of 2023, initially only the more basic work truck will be available. The truck you are looking at right here is the RST First Edition. It's going to be a limited run of trucks that are built first, and they're going to have every single feature. These trucks are going to be available by the fall of 2023, and right now, let's walk through all the details on both. Right off the hop, let's talk styling. Now, when I saw this truck for the first time, right away I thought, whoa, it looks a bit like a Chevy Avalanche because it has those buttresses that kind of connect the cab with the bed. It's a bit of a callback to that old Avalanche. And then of course, this Silverado EV, it shares its platform with the GMC Hummer EV. So the Hummer was designed first, and it's clear that the truck has a couple different styling cues that sort of carried over from the Hummer. Oh, and if you're wondering about the wheels, those are 24 inches. Now I'll throw it out to you. Please tell me, what do you think of the styling on this Silverado? Now let's dive into the details, and the biggest one is the range. So Chevy has not said exactly how big the battery pack is on the Silverado, but they will say that the range is expected to be up to 400 miles. Now, power on the RST is up to 664 horsepower and 780 pound-feet of torque, enabling that model to jump from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Go for the work truck model and the power is turned down just a little bit. You get up to 510 horsepower and 615 pound-feet of torque. Well, how about towing? In the RST, you can tow up to 10,000 pounds, while the work truck is good for up to 8,000 pounds, but that's not the big news. General Motors says that eventually there will be a work truck model that can tow up to 20,000 pounds. Which of course is heavy duty truck territory, so it's definitely pretty amazing that this EV is gonna be able to pull that much weight, and I can't wait to see what that package actually looks like that enables this truck to tow that 20 grand. The Silverado EV will come with standard DC fast charging, so if you can get to an 800 volt DC fast charger, GM says that you can add up to 100 miles of range in just 10 minutes. That said, they did not tell us how long a full charge will take, because don't forget, the start and end of a battery charge, well, they don't take the same amount of time as the middle portion does. It's not just styling that the Silverado EV borrows from the Hummer either. This truck is going to get four-wheel steering and adaptive air suspension, both technologies that were introduced on the Hummer that are coming over here to the truck to help it be more maneuverable and to give you different ride heights. The suspension can actually go up or down by 2 inches. One of the benefits of having a huge battery pack is not just powering the vehicle, but powering other things as well. So on the Silverado, GM says there are 10 outlets in total, and they offer up to 10.2 kilowatts of power, which is quite a bit. That's even enough to run your house if you had to. So yes, just like the F-150 Lightning, General Motors is saying the same thing. If you need a big battery backup, well, you're gonna get it if you buy a Silverado EV. And also, just like the F-150 Lightning, General Motors is utilizing the space up front where the engine isn't. So on this Silverado EV, they call it the E-Trunk. Over at Ford, they call it the Mega Power Frunk. So I think the marketing teams have been having fun coming up with new names. But this is the E-Trunk. Chevy does not give us exact dimensions on how big it is, but it does look pretty sizable. And that is definitely one of the big benefits to having an EV is packaging. We are now going to have even more space to store our stuff in these trucks. And talking storage, now we're going to get to what is maybe one of the most interesting features and another callback to the Chevy Avalanche. Meet the Multi-Flex Midgate. So as you can see from this illustration, the midgate has 3 positions. Fully closed, that offers the 5 foot 11 inches of the bed. You have the midgate open and the tailgate closed, that's getting you just over 9 feet of space. While if you open the midgate and you open the tailgate and put up the load stopper, you're getting 10 feet 10 inches of space. And once again, as you can see from this illustration, enough to carry a small kayak. Now it's time to take a look at the interior of this Silverado, and it's quite something. Now in the center stack, you're talking about a 17-inch LCD screen. That is directly next to an 11-inch driver information screen. Oh yeah, and you're also getting a 14-inch head-up display. So there's no lack of information coming at you here in this Silverado. And in a bit of a nod to Tesla, GM is also doing a new hands-free start feature. So as you approach the truck with either the key or just a paired cell phone, it will first of all light up for you and put on a little bit of an entry display. And then once you get in, you don't actually have to touch anything. Just sit down, it will automatically turn on, and you're ready to drive. And now let's talk pricing and availability a little bit more, and it's kind of confusing, so hopefully you can stay with me. So in the spring of 2023, a work truck model will roll out with the extended range battery, that 400-mile battery pack. Now we don't actually have a price on that truck yet. In the fall of 2023, GM is going to roll out the RST First Edition fully loaded model. That thing is going to sell for $105,000 US and $119,000 here in Canada. Then GM goes on to say that the work truck will eventually have a starting price of $39,900 in the US and $52,000 here in Canada. But those starting models, those base models, they're not going to have 400 miles of range. They're going to have a smaller battery pack. We don't have any details on that just yet. So now you might be asking, well, how does this stack up to that Ford F-150 Lightning? And I'll just spit a few numbers at you. So in terms of range, yeah, the GM has it. The F-150 standard range battery is good for 230 miles, while the extended range battery on the F-150 Lightning is good for 300 miles. So as it sits right here, the Silverado has 100 miles of range over the F-150. And when it comes to pricing, obviously GM was paying attention because the F-150 Pro, the base model, starts at $39,900, just under $40,000, and that's exactly where the Silverado EV work truck is going to start. We don't know yet, though, what the range on the base work truck is going to be. GM has only revealed the range on its extended range battery pack. So we have to keep paying attention once these details come out to really see how these two trucks stack up. But price-wise, they're right there with each other. At the top end as well, right around 100 grand US is where these things are going to top out. So no doubt GM was paying attention to Ford. And then this Silverado has a couple things the Lightning doesn't. Things like adaptive air suspension and four-wheel steering and that multi-flex midgate. So the Silverado, to me, feels like it has more features for probably about the same money. However, you also can't deny the fact that the F-150 Lightning is going to be on the road this spring, whereas we're waiting a full another year for the Silverado. And this announcement comes just one day after Ford announced it is doubling F-150 Lightning production based on demand. So Ford has already said out loud that we're getting so many calls on this truck that we need to build more. So I do feel like Chevy's missing the boat just timing-wise. They should have been a little bit earlier here. But once this truck hits, it's definitely going to be a great competitor for that F-150 Lightning. And you know, as soon as we can test them, we will. So that's the end of this video now, folks. Please go below and let me know what you think of the Silverado EV. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.